Assalamu alaikum, little boys and girls. Welcome back. Today's story is The King's Magicians. The Prophet Musa alayhi salam was one of the great prophets who lived in Egypt about 4,000 years ago. During his time in Egypt, Egypt was ruled by a tyrant known as Fir'aun. Allah gave the Prophet Musa alayhi salam several miracles and asked him to go to Fir'aun with these signs and give his message to Fir'aun, who had made himself a tyrant in the land. The Prophet Musa alayhi salam threw down his staff and it turned into a big snake. Then he drew out his hand out of his armpit and it was shining brightly. But Fir'aun rejected these miracles, calling them magic. Fir'aun called his best magicians to outdo the Prophet Musa alayhi salam. When the magicians threw down their ropes and sticks, they looked like snakes of all sizes. Musa alayhi salam was horrified as the snakes seemed to coil and uncoil around him. But Allah commanded Musa alayhi salam to throw down his staff. As Musa alayhi salam did so, all of a sudden it became a huge snake. What was more amazing was that it began to eat up all the other snakes one after another until it had eaten them all up. Everyone was wonderstruck. The magicians fell onto the ground in adoration, exclaiming, "We believe in the Lord of Musa and Harun." The people who followed Fir'aun wanted him to kill Musa alayhi salam. One of his followers was Quraan, who was very rich and had lots of treasure. But when Musa alayhi salam prayed against him, Quraan's house with all his treasures sank into the earth. Fir'aun was not able to harm the Prophet Musa alayhi salam, but he soon redoubled his torment on the Banu Israel tribe. When the tyranny of Fir'aun became unbearable, Allah guided the Prophet Musa alayhi salam to move out of Egypt with the entire tribe of Banu Israel. But Fir'aun pursued the caravan. As the Prophet Musa alayhi salam reached the shore of the Red Sea, the army of Fir'aun came very near to crushing the children of Israel. But due to a miracle of Allah, the sea split in two halves and the caravan safely reached the other side of the sea. Fir'aun and his mighty army wanted to punish the Prophet Musa alayhi salam and his people. They also set their feet on the special path created by Allah for the children of Israel. But as the army reached in the middle of the sea waves fell on them and everyone was drowned. The Prophet Musa alayhi salam and the children of Israel thanked Allah for saving them from the tyrant king Fir'aun. With patience and trust in Allah, believers can overcome any hardship they face in their lives. The end.